What if I told you she never stopped watching? That even when she blocked you, even when she walked away cold and quiet, even when she smiled in the arms of someone else, she still wondered, still checked, still watched. Not just with her eyes, but with something deeper. Women feel energy. They don't need to ask how you're doing. They can sense it. So, the real question is this. What is she feeling from you right now? Grief, desperation, or distance? Silence, strength. You're here because you've been crushed, and I'm not here to comfort you. I'm here to sharpen you. She left. Maybe she ghosted you, replaced you, humiliated you. You're replaying the moments, the words, the nights. And in that spiral, you've forgotten the single greatest truth. Pain doesn't destroy men. Attachment does. This is the moment everything changes. You don't need to chase, beg, or prove your worth. You need to remember who the hell you are. This video isn't about getting her back. It's about becoming so focused, so leveled up, so emotionally untouchable that she regrets ever doubting your value. You'll stop bleeding out and start building. Not through words, through energy, through silence, through total detachment. She won't see it coming, but she will feel it. If you're done being haunted by memories, if you're ready to stop playing victim, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My silence speaks louder than pain. Ready? Let's go. Number 1. She's watching always. She may act like she's over it, like she's thriving, like losing you was a blessing, but don't get it twisted. She's watching, not out of love, not out of hate, out of curiosity, out of ego, out of a need to confirm that she made the right call, or the wrong one. See, most men underestimate the female instinct to monitor. You think blocking you means she's done? Nope. That just means she switched to anonymous mode. She's checking your stories from fake accounts. She's asking mutual friends what you're up to. She's watching to see if you break, if you start posting sad quotes, if you lose discipline, if you replace her with someone cheaper just to feel something again. And the wild part, she's not looking for you to win. But when she sees you not losing, it shakes her. It challenges her decision. Because for women, rejection isn't final until you confirm it with your weakness, until you show that she was your emotional center. Let me break it down for you. Your reaction is the proof she's searching for. When you text her paragraphs, that's confirmation. When you cry to her or about her, confirmation. When you post thirst traps to try and make her jealous, more confirmation. But when you go silent, when your feed shows focus, purpose, peace, when there's no signal from you at all, that's the plot twist she didn't see coming. That's when she wonders, did I misread him? Did I matter less than I thought? Has he already moved on? And let me tell you something. That silence, that void, it's louder than any message you could ever send. Because it shows one thing. She no longer owns your mind space. This isn't about manipulation. This is about reality. You are your own foundation now. No more emotional dependence. No more orbiting someone who walked away. And the irony, that's when her interest returns. But you won't care, because by then you've outgrown needing to be seen. You've become the observer, not the performer. Number 2. Silence isn't empty. It's strategy. Most guys panic in silence. They think if they're not reaching out, if they're not proving something, if they're not saying something, they're losing her. Nope. The moment you go quiet is the moment you start winning. But only if that silence is real. Not a tactic, not a trick, but a transformation. Let me put you on game. Silence isn't passive. It's not surrender. It's calculated. It's where men stop bleeding and start building. Because silence is the space where you stop reacting and start remembering who you are. You're not quiet because you don't care. You're quiet because you care too much about your peace to keep throwing it at someone who couldn't hold it. In dark psychology, silence is a psychological disruptor. When someone expects a reaction and gets none, it forces them to fill in the blanks. That's where doubt, insecurity, and regret creep in. She expects rage. She expects begging. She expects that late night, I miss you message. But when it never comes, she starts thinking, starts second guessing, starts feeling. Stoicism teaches us not to suppress emotion, but to control it. That means you don't run from the pain. You own it, in silence, in solitude. That's where you do the hard work. That's where you hit the gym, not for revenge, but for redemption. That's where you build your routine, stack your wins, get sharper, colder, smarter. And here's the truth. Every day you don't speak, you grow. Every moment you resist the urge to reach out, you gain power. Because you're no longer acting for her validation, you're moving for your evolution. That silence becomes the loudest message she'll ever get. I don't need you to be whole anymore. She might post things trying to get your attention. She might throw bait, pretend she's moved on, laugh with some new dude, just loud enough for you to hear. Don't bite. Don't flinch. Don't speak, because the moment you do, you're back in the frame she painted for you. The emotional, reactive man she left. Stay out of it. Stay stone. Stay silent. Number 3. Suffering is the furnace. Heartbreak hurts. There's no pretending otherwise. It's a collapse of your reality, your routine, your sense of control. But let me be brutally clear. Suffering isn't your enemy. It's your forge. The pain you feel right now, that's the furnace where stronger men are made or broken. You choose. Most guys crumble under the weight of it. They numb themselves with distractions, alcohol, endless scrolling, chasing rebound flings just to feel wanted again. But all they're doing is postponing the pain. And what you postpone, you empower. Stoicism teaches us to face the fire, not flee from it. The fire burns, but it also builds. This pain you're in, this is the moment that separates the forgettable from the unforgettable. She might have moved on. Cool. Let her. You stay in the fire. You let it harden your mind, sharpen your focus, chisel away the weakness, not for revenge, for rebirth. Every second you sit in that discomfort without begging for it to stop is one step closer to becoming unfuckwithable. Think about it. Why do some men come out of heartbreak with dead eyes? Stronger, colder, more focused. It's because they let the pain teach them instead of break them. They didn't chase closure. They became it. They didn't beg for explanations. They became the answer. That's power. Suffering turns into self-respect. The moment you decide, this pain doesn't own me, I own this pain. You get back in the gym with that weight on your shoulders. You grind in silence with no one cheering you on. You build not to prove to her what she lost, but to prove to yourself what you can survive. And when she finally looks back, and she will, what she'll see is someone she never expected. A man forged in silence, shaped by suffering, and no longer waiting to be loved. Number 4. Attraction grows in absence, not access. You were too available. Let's call it what it is. You were always there, texting first, checking in, waiting for replies, making plans, showing up, showing love. And she got used to it. Not grateful, used to it. And when someone expects your presence like a habit, it loses value. That's not love, it's convenience. Here's the truth. Women don't say out loud. Attraction doesn't grow in comfort. It grows in uncertainty, in space, in absence. When you're around all the time, you become predictable. Predictable becomes boring. Boring gets replaced. But the moment you pull back, not as a tactic, but as a transformation, something shifts. The absence becomes felt. The silence becomes loud. The distance creates desire. Dark psychology backs this up. The scarcity principle. It's real. People want what they can't easily have. When you stop giving updates. When you stop making yourself emotionally accessible, you flip the dynamic. Now she's the one refreshing your profile. She's the one wondering who you're with. She's the one asking, "Did he forget me?" But here's the trick. You don't disappear to win her back. You disappear to win yourself back. You create distance so you can breathe again. So you can remember who you were before you started orbiting her approval. And once you rediscover that man, the focused one, the grounded one, suddenly she's looking at you with new eyes. Eyes that can't quite figure you out anymore. And that mystery that's magnetic. The more access she had, the less she valued it. Now she has none. And in that void, attraction grows. She'll start testing the waters. Likes, comments, breadcrumb messages. Don't fall for it. Let her sit in the silence. Let her feel what it's like to be locked out of your energy. You were a gift she took for granted. Now you're a mystery she can't crack. Number 5. Emotion is a weapon, but not yours to wield. She cried, she flirted, she played hot and cold, and every time she shifted, you reacted. That's how she kept control, by pulling your emotions like strings. But here's the truth. Most men never realize emotion is power, but only if you're the one controlling it. The moment you give your emotional response to someone else, you hand them the remote to your soul. Think about it. Every time you overthink, overreact, overshare, that's leverage. That's intel. That's emotional data she can use against you. Not always maliciously, but instinctively. People, especially women, test to see how solid you are. It's not about what you say, it's about whether you flinch when they push. And if you crack, you've already lost frame. Stoicism is emotional discipline, not emotional deadness. You feel everything, but you don't show it all. You don't let your lows bleed out in desperation, or your highs give away control. You stay centered. And when you do, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is power. Dark psychology calls this emotional anchoring. The person who stays grounded becomes the emotional anchor in the dynamic. They control the mood, the pace, the direction. If she's spinning and you're still, she starts gravitating toward your stillness. Why? Because women are emotional creatures, and nothing draws them more than a man who is unmoved. You want to be the storm? Nah. Be the eye of the storm. Calm, collected, observing everything, reacting to nothing. Let her throw the tantrum. Let her bait the fight. Let her try to shake you. Don't match it. Don't mirror it. Transcend it. Because the one thing she didn't prepare for was a man who doesn't flinch. And that's the moment she realizes she lost control. Because once you master your emotions, no one else can. She might still play games, but you're not on the board anymore. You're watching from the top. Number 6. The mirror effect. You ever notice how people treat you based on how you treat yourself? That's the mirror effect. It's real and brutal. When you carry yourself like a man who's lost, people treat you like one. But when you walk like you know exactly who you are, even if you're still rebuilding, everything shifts. She shifts. See, when she first met you, there was something about you. Confidence, mystery, that sense of purpose. And then, somewhere along the line, you gave it up. Maybe you made her your center. Maybe you dropped your edge to keep her. And once she saw that, you became predictable, familiar, safe. That's when the attraction faded. But here's the kicker. Women fall for potential, but they chase progress. When you level up after the breakup, not just fake it, but truly evolve, something happens. You become unfamiliar. And unfamiliar creates curiosity. Now, when she sees you, she's not seeing the man she left. She's seeing someone new, someone upgraded, someone who doesn't look like he's trying to win her back because he's too locked in on winning at life. You want to flip the power dynamic? Stop thinking about her. Start becoming someone she wouldn't even recognize. Show her without a word that she was just one chapter in a book that's getting better every day. When you walk with presence, when your energy is unshakable, when your lifestyle starts speaking louder than your lips ever could, she feels it deep, even if she pretends she doesn't. And when that happens, you become the mirror. Now she sees her reflection in your new glow. She sees what she gave up. She sees who she thought she had power over, now untouchable. That's the mirror effect, when your transformation becomes her regret. Number 7, she'll test you. Stay stone. She'll come back. Not all at once. Not with a grand apology. She'll come in subtle, calculated ways. A random, hey, a memory sent to your DMS, a story reaction, maybe even a drunk text at 2 a.m. And it's not because she misses you. Not yet. It's because she wants to see if she still owns space in your mind. That's the test. And if you react, if you break your silence just to feed the moment, you fail. Women test to see if the version of you they left is still sitting in the same place, still waiting, still hoping. It's not always conscious. It's instinct, a form of control. And the second you reply like nothing's changed, you tell her everything she needs to know. You never left that emotional cage. But when you don't flinch, when her little breadcrumbs get no response, that silence that gets under her skin, she'll ramp it up, post thirst traps. Mention things she knows will trigger you. Maybe even pretend she's happy with someone else just to see if it rattles your focus. It's all a setup, a psychological pull. But if you've been doing the work, if you've been rebuilding in silence, none of it touches you. That's what being stone means. You don't fall for bait. You don't chase clarity. You observe the test and keep moving because you're not here to prove you've changed. You're here to be changed. A man grounded in self-control has no need to respond. You've transcended the old version of you she used to manipulate. And here's the beauty of it. The less you react, the more curious she gets, the more power you hold. Why? Because now she can't predict you, and unpredictability makes people obsessed. You become the variable she can't figure out. That's what she's not prepared for. That's what breaks the game. Number 8. Rebuild ruthlessly. This is where boys stay broken and men start building. The breakup was the earthquake, but now you decide what rises from the rubble. You don't get stronger by chance. You don't become more attractive by accident. This part, it takes obsession. It takes discipline. It takes ruthlessness. Stop pretending healing means waiting around until you feel better. Nope. Healing is war. It's waking up earlier, pushing harder, cutting off distractions, facing your demons without blinking. You start training not just your body, but your mind, your habits, your environment. You upgrade your finances, your focus, your daily routines. Not because you want her to see, but because you finally see yourself. This is your comeback season, but not the soft, emotional one, the cold, calculated one. The one where every rep in the gym, every business move, every step forward becomes a message. I'm not coming back the same. You don't post about your glow-up. You live it. Quietly, relentlessly. Like a man with nothing to prove and everything to become. And here's what happens when you rebuild without noise. She notices. They all do. She'll hear about it from friends. She'll see it in your silence. She'll feel it in your posture if you ever cross paths again. You'll radiate something she didn't expect. Purpose without her. And that's what stings. That's what sticks. Because now you're not trying to be chosen. You're choosing you. You're no longer waiting to be loved. You're creating a life so full, so rich, so powerful, that love becomes a bonus, not the goal. That's the shift. And once that happens, you stop being a memory and start becoming a lesson. Number 9, the return. Not for revenge, but respect. One day, without warning, you'll cross paths again. Maybe in person, maybe online, maybe just through a friend who says she asked about you. And when that moment comes, you won't feel rage, you won't feel longing, you'll feel nothing. Because by then, you'll have changed so much, even you won't recognize the man you've become. This isn't about revenge. This isn't about making her regret. This is about walking past her like she's just another part of the story. A chapter closed. The power isn't in showing her what she lost. The power is in being so far removed from the version of you that once needed her that she can feel the gap. She'll be smiling on the outside, but watching your every move. How you walk, how you speak, how you're not looking for her anymore. And that's when it hits her. You didn't wait. You didn't shrink. You didn't pause your life hoping she'd come back. You elevated, quietly, completely. You want real power. It's not in flexing. It's not in rubbing your success in her face. It's in not even needing to be seen. That's what earns respect. Not because you tried to get it, but because you stopped needing validation altogether. You live so well, so full, so locked in, that her opinion becomes irrelevant. And she will feel it. That old grip she had on you, gone. That old emotional leash, cut. She'll feel the weight of your absence, not just in her inbox, but in your entire presence. You're no longer the man who needed closure. You became the man who created completion. Number 10. Let go. You win when you're free. This is the final level. Not revenge, not proving her wrong, not even making her regret. True power. It's detachment. It's walking away. Not with bitterness, not with resentment, but with peace. You win not when she wants you back. You win when you don't care if she does. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means owning your story without letting it own you. It means you no longer need to check her page. You don't wonder who she's with. You don't decode her texts. She becomes just another part of your past, like a scar that used to hurt, but now only reminds you how far you've come. You stop trying to control the uncontrollable. You stop needing her to understand, apologize, or fix it. You're no longer driven by the void she left. You're driven by the future you're building. And that's what freedom is. When your energy is no longer tethered to someone else's approval, when you wake up without that weight, when peace stops being something you chase and starts being the default setting in your mind. That's the version of you no one can touch. Not her, not the past, not your doubts. You've reclaimed every piece of yourself you gave away. You've learned to sit with silence, thrive in pain, grow in solitude. And now you're free, fully, finally. And here's the irony. That's when they come back. Not when you waited, but when you walked away with nothing but self-respect. That's when your absence becomes unbearable. But by then, you've outgrown the need to respond. Because peace doesn't chase. It just is. If you made it this far, you're not just hurting. You're healing. You're not broken. You're rebuilding. And now you understand the truth. Stoicism isn't about being emotionless. It's about emotional control. Dark psychology isn't about manipulation. It's about awareness. And heartbreak. That was never the end. It was the ignition. She might still be watching. Let her. But don't perform. Don't chase. Don't regress. You're not the same man she left. You're the man she'll never have access to again. Because you didn't just move on. You leveled up in silence, in discipline, in total detachment. This journey doesn't end when the pain fades. It ends when your purpose becomes louder than your past. When your peace becomes stronger than your triggers. When your presence becomes a standard, not a cry for attention. So remember this every time you're tempted to look back. What's behind you cannot define what's ahead of you, unless you let it. Your silence is strength. Your absence is power. Your detachment is deadly. Let her wonder. Let her watch. You've got better things to build. If this message hit you deep, if you're ready to stop reacting and start rising, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and drop it in the comments one last time. Peace is my power. This is Stoic Blessing, and your evolution just began.